Hi, I'm Natalie from Namaste Farms, and today I'm going to teach you how to make a faux tailspin scarf. Okay, so we talked about before that tail spinning can be without having these tails hanging out. You can just take the tails and split them and make a yarn sort of like this yarn that I'm showing you here. Or you can tail spin and leave the tails on. And we talked about needing to have long locks and have these hang off and then you knit them in. Well, because it's very difficult to make the yarn with the tailspin, I made this other yarn that's like a faux tailspin with the tails hanging off. And if I do say so myself, it's phenomenal. So this is it. This is what it looks like. And this is really soft. And I made this fringe with the leftover parts of the long tails, like, because you know when you pull the tails, you're always going to have some left over, like pieces that are all fuzzy and you don't know what to do with them, and so you make yarn from them, and that's what I did. So the pieces of the tails that didn't end up to be tails or too short or they got frizzy, I spun them into a tailspun yarn without the tails hanging off and made this. And the thing that I think is really cool about this scarf is the way it drapes. Not only that, it's super easy to make. The actual knitting part, I cast on I think 100 and then knit 4 rows and then just cut my long locks that I sell at Yarn Market. I think I really overdid it on this one. I probably used 3 skeins, and it's not an inexpensive yarn, but that's because I'm usually using the 8 to 10 inch locks to make it. And so this is pricey, but on the other hand, I look at it and I think it reminds me of something like that Jimi Hendrix would wear, or like Steven Tyler. It's so rocker, except for the color. So the one thing that I'm going to do today too is I'm going to show you how to dye with Koolaid, which is funny because I don't dye with Koolaid and I never have. So this is going to be an experiment for both of us, and I'm hoping it's going to work. But you know, the concepts are all the same. If you know the basic principles of dyeing, you should be able to dye with anything, as long as you have a really good mordant. So I want to show you what I mean when I talk about splitting the locks and making a tailspun yarn that doesn't have the tails hanging off. And so here would be an example. I mean, this is actually a pretty good tail that I could have used if I wanted to make one that was hanging off. So I have to come in here because there's more light. I usually don't spin in front of my oven, which actually if it was cold enough here, but it never is cold enough here. So when I talk about this yarn that I make, it's called long locks. It takes a long time because I'm splitting the locks like this, and the thing that I like about it is it can make a it could make a lace weight because the fleece is so long and you could get it really thin. But see, I split, and I pulled this lock was attached to this lock, and now I'm just pulling it in the opposite direction, and it's like an inchworm. But see how it grabs on really easily? My hands are so pretty, I know. They've got dye all over them right now, so they look extra special. So I'm there, and then I'm going to pull this one. This one. See if I have one that's too long. There, and this is how I make this yarn. And like I said, the thing that is really cool is this yarn ends up making amazing fringe. It's not like a regular, like a fringe from roving or any of the other yarns I made. I don't think would drape like it does on the animal, like an actual lock. And this does. It just has an amazing amount of movement. So that's how I make that yarn. It's really beautiful. It's one of my favorites. It's a very, very big seller. And if you want to make something like this, you can get it at Yarn Market. One of the things I do is I try to, even me, since I make yarn, I use a pagora, usually a pagora. It's sometimes in the Ohm, and they call it sometimes the Pagora collection. And I'll use it for my base that I cast on 100 with. But I also really love this yarn because it's not very expensive. It's the Koolaid Hills, and I think that's how you say it. I actually don't even know. But it's spelled Koolaid, C-A-L-E-D-O-N, Hills. And I love this yarn because it has a lot of spring, and I double it. So I knit 2 as one because I don't want the weight of this fringe to weigh down this middle scarf part. So as I said, I cast on like 100, and then I knit 4 rows. Then I will cut my fringe to whatever length I want, which is usually about this. But at the very bottom, at this very bottom portion, I want my fringe longer than that. So I'll cut like 6 or 7 pieces, a lot longer. See how long that is? Because it gives the illusion of making the scarf longer. And so then I'll take this fringe and I go on the right side of my, this like tube-like thing that I've made, my scarf base. And it has this piece right here. And see, I've knit 2 together. I've knit 2 as one. Not knit 2 together, knit 2 as one. So it's a little more beefy. And I'm going to pull this through. And then I just put it on like this. And I just knot it as if I was going to make a shawl, make a fringe for like a poncho or something. And then on these top ones, because I want it to be thinner and get gradually bigger. On these top ones, I'll just do the middle. But on these bottom ones, I'll start doing the inside. And you can see right here where I did the inside. And I just sort of do it randomly. I'm sorry I sound so nasally. I've had bronchitis for like, I don't know, 3 weeks. It's ridiculous. It's like the sickness that will not end, and it's gone into my sinuses, so I sound great. But okay, so moving on. So what I'm going to do, and I'm really nervous about this since I've never dyed with Koolaid, because I love this scarf, but it could get ruined. We're going to try it. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to soak it. I want to soak it in vinegar. Some people don't soak it in vinegar. There's a guy that's on my Ravelry group, and he doesn't. But somebody else said that they noticed that it bled when they didn't. And my common sense tells me that I want vinegar in it because vinegar's a mordant, so it's going to make the dye adhere from the Koolaid. And Koolaid isn't, technically toxic, so that's awesome because, it's not good for our lungs to be inhaling this stuff when it's hot. So this is a really big scarf and this is a really small pan. But I'm using this really small pan because I want it to fit in my microwave. So I'm just going to put it in like this, and in my hand this is going to hurt since I bite my nails, I have some cuts. I'm probably going to put my gloves on because the vinegar really hurts my cuts. Okay, and I'm going to put a little water in it because I want it to get totally covered. And I'm using hot water. Okay. Put gloves on because that water has a lot of vinegar in it, and it's going to be painful. And I used actually some long locks that were had a little discoloration staining on purpose because I knew I was going to dye this. But I wouldn't have put that in my long locks yarn had it been for yarn market, and I didn't think that I was going to do exactly what I'm doing right now. So I'm going to get it all nice and, because what I'm going to want is I want this dye to take a hold right away. Because I really don't, I'm going to use a couple of different colors of Koolaid. Okay, so this is what that's how it goes. Now, somebody told me that you should make this really hot. Make this little pan completely hot, and then even actually your scarf hot. So I'm going to put some cellophane over the top, and I'm going to put it in the microwave. Okay, so we're back, and I put this scarf with cellophane over it in the microwave. I know, it seems like you wouldn't be able to do that, but you can. And now I'm heating up my vinegar and Koolaid. So I took like 4 packets of strawberry and 4 packets of black cherry in vinegar, and I heated them up so that they're going to be hot too because I want them to immediately adhere to this fleece. I'm really honestly nervous about this because this is not going to be pretty if it turns out bad. I mean, it's going to be horrific, and I'm going to feel really bad that I did this to my beautiful scarf. But I want people to be able to dye with Koolaid because you can do it with your kids. It's not dangerous. The other thing is that I hear the colors actually can be really nice. So, I mean, it's kind of an experiment. We're just kind of learning together. Okay, I'm going to do the black cherry first. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I kind of want it on my ends. So I'm going to I'm going to put it right here. I'm just going to, oh, actually, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. And I'm going to push it down very gently because I don't want it to mix underneath and get the other side and make it muddy. I cannot stand muddy colors. I really can't. It really bothers me when I see other people's things that are dyed and the colors are muddy. I want my stuff to have a lot of luster and be shiny and have there be a clear delineation, not like I, ran out of dye or I made a mistake. So, okay, this, God, it smells really good. I'm just going to let you know. And you wouldn't think it would because it's got vinegar in it. But it, oh, I think I might have got it backwards. Oh, well. This is like orange. So this is the strawberry. And actually, I did put an orange in there, but I didn't realize it was going to be so orange. But that's okay. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some more vinegar in this because I clearly don't have enough liquid. And everything in this kind of stuff, as far as art's concerned, man, it's trial and error. Okay, I'm not going to heat this one up because I just want to be able to make that Kool-Aid go a little bit further. Okay, and I'm obviously going to need another color up there. And I actually have another, like a cherry color. So we're gonna use that. And then we're gonna heat it up again. What am I doing? Okay, so now I'm gonna go get some more packets of cherry. Hang on. Now that was black cherry. This, let's see, what else do I have? I have grape, pink lemonade, blast and berry cherry. Okay, that's gonna be a purplish color. Ooh, I don't know about that. Now I'm gonna have to put a purplish color in there. Grape. Oh well, we're just gonna do it. I'm not saying it's gonna be good. This is not normally a color combination that I would use. I would never put orange next to purple. Oh, but I have that berry cherry, but berry cherry is gonna be like probably like a reddish purple. Well, let's see. Here's blast and berry cherry. Try this one. But the thing that I like about this, like I said, is you can do it with your children. And it's not dangerous, and if you inhale this stuff, I mean, I don't think it's going to kill you. That's the good news. I am really nervous about how this is going to look because it's pink lemonade, which means it's going to be probably a hot pink, and I've never put hot pink next to this orange before. I usually put a yellow, but I didn't have any yellow Kool-Aid. So what would yellow? Lemon, but you don't have lemon Kool-Aid, you have lemonade. So here we go. Oh, wow. Guess what? I don't hate it. This might work out all right. I might be really happy with this. So, but that was the pink, that was the lemonade with that berry cherry or berry, no, what was it, cherry berry or whatever. So, but I'm thinking this might be all right. Yeah, I might be digging it. Actually, look, and there's more in there, which is cool. Okay, this I don't know if I'm gonna like though, because this is purple, and normally I'd put purple on this end. I think I'm gonna have to put purple up there, and I don't think I'm gonna like that. So let me just see what happens when I put a little purple in here. Uh-oh, that was a mistake. It's okay, let's get it in. If that was regular dye, that would not have been good. Ooh, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go ahead and put that cherry, and just make it lighter, because I will not like if there is grape up here, up in this area. So we're just gonna try to stretch our lemonade and berry cherry out. I mean, you have to have some idea of, you know, what colors you want. Like I do have some lemon lime here, which would be like a fluorescent green probably. And obviously with these colors, the lime green isn't gonna work. So, I mean, you don't wanna ruin your stuff. You can always over dye it with a protein dye. But those are chemicals, and you know, then you run into, some people get really nervous and wear like face masks. Me, of course, I breathe. That, of course, that's probably why I have bronchitis, because I'm poisoning myself as I dye. It's awesome. But you know what? When you dye as much as I do, you don't have time for all that. You're like, okay, let's just get the kids out of the house, turn the fan on, and hope for the best. Okay. Oh, I love how there's a beer in the corner. I don't know if you saw that, but it's that time of night. Okay. So here we are. Now when I do this with the chemical dyes, it's really bad because it's in my microwave, and we actually don't use our microwave for food really. So, you know, but I do. I put chemical dyes in my microwave, and I think the only thing we cook in there really is water for my hot chocolate for milk. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to stuff this in here. And notice how I didn't do too much messing around. I didn't agitate it too much. I don't want to mess around. I don't want those colors to start bleeding into each other, so I got to let it do its thing.